Welcome to Global Reports Hub. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The world was stunned as breaking news flashed across screens from New York to Tokyo, capturing the attention of millions. Few could have predicted the seismic shift that was about to unfold in the Arctic. Greenland, long courted by the US and eyed as a strategic prize, signed a historic $3 billion deal with Canada and the European Union, leaving America out in the cold and rewriting the rules of Arctic diplomacy. Headlines blared across the globe: Greenland snubs Trump, Arctic alliance shifts. The world's media scrambled to interpret what this meant for the balance of power in the far north. For years, former President Trump saw Greenland as a prize to be bought, famously floating the idea of purchasing the island. But he missed the island's true value: its people, their culture, and their fierce independence. Today, that oversight cost the US not just money, but influence, prestige, and a critical foothold in the rapidly changing Arctic. In Washington, shock quickly turned to frantic calls and urgent meetings. How had the US been outmaneuvered in its own backyard, and what would this mean for American interests in the region? The deal wasn't just about investment or economics, it was a bold declaration of independence from decades of American pressure and outside influence. In Nuuk, Greenland's capital, the mood was triumphant but humble. People gathered in the streets waving flags and watching history unfold, aware that their voices had finally been heard on the world stage. Prime Minister Mute B. Egidi, standing proudly alongside Canada's Justin Trudeau and the EU's Ursula von der Leyen, signed not just a contract, but a new vision for the Arctic, one built on mutual respect, partnership, and shared opportunity. The message was clear: the North's future will be decided by its own people, not dictated by distant powers or old assumptions. This marks a fundamental shift in Arctic power, transforming a region once ignored into a central arena for global strategy, climate action, and international cooperation. Climate change has unlocked new resources and sea lanes, but Greenland chose partners who saw them as equals, not as property to be exploited. The island's leaders prioritized dignity and collaboration over short-term gain. The US assumed dominance was inevitable. Greenland proved otherwise, showing that even small nations can chart their own course and defy expectations. By aligning with Canada and the EU, Greenland asserted its sovereignty and reshaped the Arctic's future, forging new alliances that could redefine the region for generations. The aftershocks of this decision will ripple for years, challenging America's role in the 21st century and forcing a rethink of global power dynamics. The world is watching as a new Arctic order emerges, one where respect, not might, sets the rules, and where collaboration replaces competition. Greenland's bold move is a lesson in the power of self-determination, inspiring other small nations to believe in their own agency and potential. The era of treating the Arctic as a pawn is over. Greenland is now a player, shaping its destiny and the future of the North. The Kallalit Nunaat Canada-EU Arctic Partnership is more than a financial deal. It's a blueprint for Greenland's future. The $3 billion investment, spread over a decade, targets modern ports, green energy, and education, ensuring Greenlanders lead their own development. Canadian and European experts will train locals, but the goal is self-sufficiency, not dependency. The signing ceremony in Nuuk was rich with Inuit culture, symbolizing respect and inclusion. Trudeau and EU leaders emphasized partnership, reconciliation, and shared values. This alliance gives Greenland access to capital, technology, and a vast market, bypassing the US and anchoring it with democratic partners. A new economic and political axis now runs through the Arctic, one built on collaboration, not conquest. For Prime Minister Egidi, this was more than just a political achievement. It was a dream realized after years of hope and determination. The moment marked a turning point not only for him, but for the entire nation of Greenland. Greenland is not for sale, Greenland is for partnership. With these powerful words, Egidi made it clear that Greenland's future would be built on respect and collaboration, not on transactions or exploitation. His words resonated across the island, a nation with a long colonial past, now stepping into true sovereignty. For many Greenlanders, this was a moment of pride, a signal that their voices finally mattered on the world stage. The deal reduces dependence on Denmark's block grant, empowering Greenland to shape its own destiny. It opens doors for new opportunities, allowing Greenland to invest in its people, culture, and environment. In Copenhagen, Danish leaders welcomed the move, calling it a new era of equal partnership within the Danish realm. They recognized Greenland's growing confidence and the importance of mutual respect. This unity signaled a smooth transition and mutual respect, It showed the world that change can happen peacefully, through dialogue and understanding. For Greenlanders, the agreement is about dignity, not just economics. It's about reclaiming their identity and having a say in their own future. The Canadian and European approach, listening, asking, collaborating, contrasted sharply with America's transactional style. This difference in attitude made all the difference in building trust. Greenlanders felt seen, heard, and respected. For the first time, they felt like equal partners, not just resources to be bargained over. The partnership is a leap toward international recognition and self-worth. It's a step toward a future where Greenland's voice is heard in global conversations. Danish Prime Minister Frederiksen called it historic, supporting Greenland's right to self-determination. She emphasized that true partnership means supporting each other's aspirations. The respectful engagement from Canada and the EU ultimately won the deal. Their willingness to listen and understand Greenland's needs set a new standard for international relations. This is a victory for trust, not threats. It's a testament to the power of diplomacy and genuine cooperation. Greenland is no longer a commodity, it's a confident actor on the world stage. The nation stands tall, ready to shape its own destiny. The world is learning. True influence is built on partnership, not power plays. Lasting relationships are forged through respect and shared goals. The Arctic's future will be shaped by those who listen, not those who dictate. In this new era, collaboration and understanding will determine who leads and who follows. As the news spread like wildfire, celebrations erupted across Greenland, echoing from the southern fjords to the northern ice fields. In the capital city of Nuuk, flags waved high and proud, while fishing boats paraded through the harbor. A nation of just 56,000 people finally felt seen and heard on the world stage. From Qaqortoq in the south to Qaanaaq in the far north, families and friends gathered for kaffemik, sharing coffee, cake, laughter, and heartfelt stories of hope for the future. Elders with tears in their eyes told the youth what this moment truly meant after generations of colonial rule and struggle for recognition. For many, the New Deal represents real opportunity. "Now they see us, they see our potential," said Pipaluk, a young teacher, her voice filled with pride and anticipation. "It's not about chasing quick riches, but about building a sustainable, thriving future for the next generation, one rooted in Greenlandic values and traditions." Pride, relief, and a wave of optimism swept across the island, uniting communities in a shared sense of purpose. While the US saw only resources and opportunity, Greenlanders celebrated something deeper: respect, recognition, and the right to self-determination. The world's miscalculation was clear. This was never just about money or minerals, it was about dignity, unity, and identity. Greenlanders are now, for the first time, truly masters of their own destiny, shaping their future on their own terms. The celebrations mark a new era. Greenland is no longer a pawn in global games, but a player with its own voice and vision. The Arctic story is being rewritten by its own people, with every celebration and every decision. The world is finally listening, and Greenland's voice is stronger than ever before. Greenland's strategic value has soared. Its location bridges North America and Europe, and Thule Air Base remains vital for US defense. Beneath melting ice lie vast reserves of oil, gas, and rare earth minerals, crucial for modern technology and green energy. As Arctic sea ice recedes, new shipping lanes like the Northwest Passage are opening, cutting global transit times. Greenland's ports are set to become key hubs for this new trade. Whoever develops this infrastructure will wield immense influence. The US, China, and Russia all want a stake, but Greenland chose partnership over coercion. The new alliance proves access to the Arctic's riches comes through cooperation, not force. Greenland is now central to the world's future. In 2019, President Trump's bid to buy Greenland was met with disbelief and outrage. To Trump, it was a real estate deal. To Greenlanders, it was an insult. The administration ignored the people, treating the island as empty land. When Denmark and Greenland rejected the offer, Trump canceled a state visit, straining alliances. The episode damaged US relations and fueled Greenland's resolve for independence. Ironically, Trump's failed bid galvanized Greenland, clarifying its true friends. The fiasco paved the way for the historic Canada-EU partnership. Sometimes a diplomatic blunder sparks a nation's awakening. The Greenland saga highlights two foreign policy paths: dominance versus diplomacy. The US tried to buy influence, viewing Greenland as an asset, not a partner. This transactional approach alienated Greenlanders, building walls instead of bridges. Canada and the EU chose respect and collaboration, asking, "How can we work together?" Years of relationship building paid off, securing a deal based on trust and shared goals. The Canada-EU-Greenland partnership is a win-win investment for Greenland, alliances for Canada, resources for the EU. The message is clear. In the new Arctic, cooperation trumps coercion. Influence is earned, not bought. The future belongs to those who build partnerships, not those who seek to dominate. Greenland's choice is a blueprint for modern diplomacy. The Arctic's new era is defined by respect. In a twist, American investors quietly backed the Canadian companies now leading Greenland's transformation. U.S. funds, seeking returns, invested in Canadian mining and shipping firms poised to benefit from the deal. While Washington lost influence, Wall Street profited. Investors saw Canada's steady, relationship-based approach as a safer bet than U.S. unpredictability. When the deal was announced, Canadian stocks soared, and so did American profits. This irony exposes a disconnect. U.S. foreign policy faltered, but U.S. capital thrived. In today's world, private money can undermine national strategy. The Greenland deal shows that financial power and diplomatic influence don't always align. The market endorsed partnership over power plays. In the Arctic, money followed respect and won. The Greenland-Canada-EU deal signals a new era in global relations, one built on partnership, not dominance. The U.S., once the Arctic's agenda setter, now watches as others shape the region's future. Power today is measured by relationships and values, not just military might. Allies see the deal as a victory for collaboration. Smaller nations see hope for independence. America's rivals watch for openings, but the real lesson is for Washington. Influence requires humility and genuine alliances. Greenland and Canada are pioneering a model that balances opportunity with responsibility. They've shown that respect is more valuable than real estate. The Arctic's dawn is bright with cooperation. The world is changing. Will the U.S. adapt or remain in the cold? The choice is clear. Partnership is the path forward.